All right, we are live. News Roundup. We're going to talk about some news stories and take your comments on the air. That sounds good. What's going on, everybody? Hey, thanks to our moderators who are there. We got Lizzie, Sarah Joy, Sarah55, Angel Shark. Awesome. Linda Belk, Texas Legends Brian are moderating too. Thank you. We got our Twitch moderators and our Facebook moderators too. What's happening? And we got viewers like Janet, Bud Green is moderating. And we got Robin Cherry, Barry Weil, Patty Huddleston, Looney, and others watching. Andy K, Ben Espinoza, Gone with the Gale, Miss Sal, Linda Nielsen, and everybody else watching out there. I am feeling good. I had my first vaccine shot yesterday. Had some arm soreness last night. My arm actually feels a lot better. My arm isn't that sore. I have some muscle aches today, some slight muscle aches, and a little bit of a headache. That is among the normal expected symptoms for a couple days after your vaccine shot. But I'm feeling fine. Everything's good. So we'll keep going. All right, I want to start by talking about, hey, so if you have comments on the stories, I want to hear from you. So write to me on Twitter, @Lookner on Twitter. That's where to reach me when we're on the air, @Lookner on Twitter. So I want to start by talking about this for a second. FBI releases new security cam video of person who placed pipe bombs outside of Republican National Committee headquarters instead of January 6th, ahead of January 6th insurrection. They still haven't caught this person. It's pretty crazy. They have some video of the person. I mean, it doesn't really show you who the person is, but I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of resources that have been put into trying to find this person. It's over 2 months ago. Oh, Spasmatic Me says, I had those side effects too. Oh, hang on a second here. Let me play this video. This Scott McFarlane posted this. So we got the person walking. I would think they could figure out how tall the person is. So there is this FBI video. I'm going to see if I can find, NBC News had a story on this. I want to see more details. I just saw this right before we came on the air. FBI releases new video. No, I don't think he waved at police. I think he was just like stretching his arm or something. FBI releases new video of suspect planting bombs for Capitol riot. NBC, FBI released new video. I never. The FBI said these pipe bombs were viable devices that could have been detonated, resulting in injury or death. We need the public's help to identify the individual responsible for placing these pipe bombs to ensure they will not harm themselves or anyone else. The bombs were placed between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. ET on January 5th, outside both the RNC and the DNC, a few blocks from the U.S. Capitol. The suspect wore distinctive footwear, Nike Air Max Speed Turf shoes with black, gray, and yellow details. The newly released videos show the suspect walking on the sidewalk, then stopping to put down the backpack before beginning to walk again. Other scenes show the person sitting down on a park bench and walking down an alley. I guess we haven't seen the whole video yet. Investigators said both devices appeared fully functional, made out of metal pipe an inch in diameter, containing homemade black powder with a common wind-up timer attached. They did not go off. The device's discovery pulled dozens of police away from their usual posts about 90 minutes before rioters stormed the Capitol. The former chief of the U.S. Capitol Police believes the bombs were placed as a diversionary tactic. The FBI hopes someone may recognize the suspect's gait, body language, or other mannerisms. $100,000 reward for info that leads to identification of the suspect. See if I can find like the whole video. Ooh, here's more video. Look, Lorenzo Hall posted this. He is with WUSA. Look at this. More video. New videos. I think he's on a bench in that one. So in this one, he's like standing there. They gotta find. I wonder if they're gonna try to find this person walking the dog and interview them. Then he's on a bench. It looks like, and he's walking. I don't think he's waving there. I think he's just like stretching his arm or something. Anyways, interesting. Lynn Smith says it could be a her. Looks like a guy to me. I mean, I'm assuming it's a guy. I don't know if the cameras showed the person leaving it. I don't know if that's what they showed. I haven't seen any video of the person actually leaving the bombs. Maybe there is. I'm not sure. But it's now been over 2 months and they haven't found the guy. Darren says there has been speculation the pipe bomber might be a woman. It could be a woman. It could be. I mean, I don't know for sure. Melissa McQueen says good hoodie utilization. They have a hoodie and a mask. Bama Nation thinks the person knew where all the cameras was. Really? Do you think so? I mean, they're on camera. See, Michelle Sparks says, glad more video came out finally. Danane MD says, I was going to say maybe a woman. Trillion says, probably have already interviewed the person walking the dog. What did you see? Guy in hoodie and mask standing and waiting. Shorty says, my question is, with all the technology we have, why haven't we been able to find this person? It's pretty crazy that, again, it's been over 2 months, and I'm sure this is like a very high priority for federal authorities. Now, maybe the person didn't have a cell phone on them. I would think if they had if the person had a cell phone on them, I would think they could very easily track the cell phone, because they can find out what cell phones were in what areas. They have video of this person in all these different locations, and they have the pinpoint time of when that person was there. So if this person had a trackable cell phone, I would think they would be able to. Maybe they have. Maybe they just can't find the person. I don't know. But, they can tell when cell phones are in certain locations. If you told me I could go plant 2 bombs the day before the Capitol riot at the Republican and Democratic headquarters, and they would have footage of me walking around, and that I would still not be captured 2 months later, I wouldn't believe you. Jeff says, really hard to identify someone with that video alone. I have to think there's more video too, like surveillance video and stuff. Gravity Bong says, could have been a burner phone. Robert Carley says, plus $100,000 reward. Scott Post says, unfortunately can't tell much from it. On the sidewalk, guy says, like the old adage says, no face, no case. Seeker says, you can see in the bench video the person looked directly into the camera. I didn't see that. I can look again. Okay, they're looking down. They're looking down. They're looking down. I mean, right at the end, they kind of look in the direction of the camera. That doesn't mean they're looking directly into the camera. I don't know. Right, Freedom Flag says any street cameras like Nashville bombing. I'm guessing there might be, but they don't necessarily release everything they have. All right, so, I'll if I hear anything more about that, I'll let you know. Right now, we just have some new video and no suspect right now that we're aware of. This is getting a lot of press today, too, this next thing. I want to talk about this for a second. See if I can find it. I don't know if I'm going to show this. I don't know if I can show the video. There's this video going viral of a woman coughing on an Uber driver and also grabbing his phone. That's from KPIX. I don't know that I'm allowed to show the video, though. So anyways, I'm not really going to get into it right now. But you can find it out there. It's all over the internet. Judy Socket says, usually all info the police have is not divulged. All right, so we won't talk about that because, I mean, really, it's only, to me, we're talking about if I can show the video. Drew Boogie says, he has a cell phone in his hand at 5 seconds into the video you posted. That's what Drew says. The pipe bombing suspect. Let's see. 1, 2, where? Where's the cell phone? Here? That's a cell phone? Hard for me to see. I'll have to make it bigger. I don't know if you can see it when I make it bigger. You can't really see this. Hold on. But let me just do this for my own benefit here. I can't tell if that's a cell phone. I can't tell. I'm looking right at it. I'm looking 5 seconds in. 3, 4, 5. There's 5. Let's see. Does he hold it up to his face? Oh, it does look like a cell phone. Okay, I see. I see what Drew says. So watch right here. It kind of looks like he lifts his arm up and starts talking on the phone right here. Right here. Lifts his arm up and it kind of looks like he's talking on the phone. See that? That's interesting. Right here. Thanks, Drew. So, well, they should be able to track what cell phones are where. But I don't know if they can track the cell phone. Ugh, hold on. Dennis says for 2021 that video quality is bad. Well, I don't know, what the nature of the camera is that takes it. Miso says, I'm sure they know who that is. I wonder if they might know who it is, but not announce a suspect. Because maybe they don't want to tip the person off they know. Is there any chance they know who it is, but they're still asking for more information because they're trying to find the person, right? Because if you knew who it is, but you couldn't find them, maybe you might think, well, we're better off not announcing a name and then just seeing if anybody gives any more information to us. I don't know. See, Michelle Sparks says maybe it's a Ring doorbell vid. Chuck says the Uber video looks staged to me. I don't know. I think Uber has already taken action against the woman, so they don't think it's staged. I believe the Uber video is real. Anyways, but I can't show it right here. All right, let's move on from that story. Happy Slappy says, how are you feeling after the shot? As I said earlier, I'm feeling well. I had my first vaccine shot yesterday. I had some slight arm soreness last night. Arm soreness mostly went away today, and I have some slight muscle aches and slight headache. So all normal side effects. Doing well. Thank you. Darren says, why do you think the news is making such a big deal about the royal family in the Oprah Winfrey interview? The news is making a big deal about it because a lot of people care about it. So your better question would be, why do so many people care about it? I can't tell you that. I can't explain why people care about what they care about. But I don't think it's a case of the news making a big deal of something that people don't care about. Roberson says, it's not surprising at all to me that they don't know who this is yet. Okay, I want to now talk about this. Oh, you know, I saw an interesting thing. I don't know if you guys have seen this about the Lady Gaga dog walker story. So TMZ had a story about it where they're saying, like, maybe it wasn't somebody targeting her specific dogs. Lady Gaga, dog napping shooting may have been gang initiation. Reward not yet paid. TMZ. The people who stole Lady Gaga's 2 French bulldogs and shot her dog walker may have been part of a gang initiation, and the woman who found the dogs hasn't received her reward because cops have not yet cleared her. Well, but it sounds like the cops don't suspect her. So to me, the bigger story is this idea that it may not have been targeting her dog specifically. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ. Our sources say cops told Gaga not to pay the reward she offered unless and until they could determine the finder had no involvement in the crime. We're told cops don't believe the woman who returned the dogs was part of the dog napping, but they're trying to figure out if she had any involvement after the fact. So, well, actually, I mean, if that's true, you know, they're still trying to clear her. That makes sense to me. It makes sense. It makes sense that if somebody returns the dogs to the police, you want to be 100% sure they didn't have anything to do with it. So fine. Again, they don't know she's involved, but they're investigating. We're told Gaga is more than willing to pay the woman if she's cleared by cops. What's more, our sources say at TMZ, cops believe the dog napping and shooting of the dog walker may have been a gang initiation. We're told there have been similar crimes in the LA area recently, and this may well have been the MO in the Gaga case. Then they say, it's interesting, if you look at the surveillance video of the crime, Ryan Fisher, the dog walker, was not even near the dogs when he was shot in the chest. The dogs were to the other side of the kidnappers. They could have easily have put the dogs in the car and taken off, yet they chose to shoot Ryan. This lends credence to the gang initiation theory. Let me do this. Hold on a second here. If I can play the site they're talking about. Hold on. I'm not going to play the sound on this, so you're not going to hear anything. Where's the part they're talking about where the dogs are far away from him? I don't know where the dogs are right here. They say like the dogs are far away from him in the video when they shoot him, and I can't really see the dogs. I don't even know where they are. Like on the screen, I mean. Like where are they right there? I don't know. I'd have to watch it a few times. It's kind of hard for me to see. Anyways. But it's an interesting idea that to me, if it's true that there have been similar crimes in the LA area recently, there have been similar crimes of people getting shot walking their dogs. They haven't arrested anyone for this either, right? Dave NW says stealing someone's dog is a gang initiation. Like I don't know if they're not specific on the whole gang initiation part. It could be something like committing a crime or something. I don't know. Rob G says, I find it hard to believe that the woman who returned the dogs had no involvement. I haven't heard an explanation how she came upon the dogs. I mean, you could imagine, though, if the criminals wanted to return the dogs, they could like leave it on somebody's doorstep or something. Mr. Showtime says, no arrest. So I'm really interested to see, what happens with that story. There's so much more to the story. Maybe they'll arrest somebody eventually. Roberson says shooting someone during the theft of dogs does not seem like something a professional criminal would do for sure. Dart thinks that shooting someone is the gang initiation. Linda, I don't know if the woman said how she came by the dogs. That's a good question. I have never heard the account given by the woman of how she came by the dogs. I don't know if that's been reported. I never saw it. Here's a Fox News article from like last month. Who returned Lady Gaga's stolen dogs? Police have not identified the woman, publicly, I guess. The woman's investigation is being kept a secret. Now, like a couple weeks ago, they were saying she does not appear to be involved in the crime or associated with the criminals in any way. The woman found the dogs and reached out to Lady Gaga's staff to return them. The woman's identity and the location the dogs were found in will remain confidential, said the LAPD. Oh, I didn't see this. TMZ reported the woman found the dogs unharmed and tied to a pole in an alley several miles away. I never saw this story. Hold on. I never saw this. Lady Gaga, dogs found tied to pole in alley, supposedly. I never read this story. I missed this. Lady Gaga's 2 dogs that were stolen were tied to a pole in an alley, miles from where they were dog-napped. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ they believe the woman who found the dogs is a good Samaritan, but now TMZ is saying that they're considering whether she was involved. We're told the woman saw the email address we posted from Gaga and she found the dogs and she was advised to take them to a nearby police station. Maybe that's what happened. I wonder if there's video of that. I wonder if there's surveillance video of the dogs tied to a pole. Doreen said, I had heard she had found them tied to a post. Yeah, I never saw that. I missed that. I wonder if there was a sign. Like, was there a way for the person who found them to identify that they were the dogs? Hey, thanks, Chuck, for your support. I really appreciate that. Chuck, thank you. And Chuck, thanks for shouting out the mods. Thank you, Chuck. Yes, M. Doranchi, $500,000 reward. Linda says, found them sounds dodgy. Well, we'll see. No, Linda says this sounds better, but We'll have to see what the police say. No, the reward money, according to TMZ, has not been paid yet because the police still haven't completely cleared the woman. Julianne, apparently, Julianne, you must have missed the whole stream I did on Cuomo a few days ago. So you made yourself look really silly and stupid by posting this post you just posted, Julianne, claiming I'm not going to cover Cuomo because he's a Democrat. Boy, you look really stupid for posting that now. Because you couldn't bother checking the AFTV page and seeing that I did an entire stream about it a few days ago, Julianne. Nice going. Way to look stupid. I just muted her for 60 minutes. She can take 60 minutes and think about it before she comments again. Julianne was so excited to be a political partisan and post toxic garbage in my chat, accusing somebody of partisanship when they're the partisan. She was so excited that she couldn't even bother to take 10 seconds to check AFTV to see that I already done a video about it. Ha 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 ha. Great job, Julianne. Way to go. Julianne, you're making the world a better place with your toxicity. Great job. Hey, thanks, Paul Dorman, for the Facebook stars. I appreciate that. Thank you, Paul. No, it's not a bit harsh. It's not a bit harsh at all. She deserves it. She deserves a lot more harsh complaints for what she just did. For her toxic garbage that I'm sure she's spreading other places too. It's not just my chat room, I'm sure. Okay. Oh, yeah. You want an easy way to a timeout? You want an easy way to a timeout in the chat? Say things like, just get on with it, Steve. Just get on with it, Steve. I'm going to tell you how to run your channel, even though I'm the viewer and you're the host. Just get on with it, Steve. How about, hey, Jane Lawless, just get on with your timeout. Just get on with your timeout. Jane, you got about 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Oh, Polly meant she was harsh. Yeah. Okay. Shaggy says, look before you leap, Julie. Freedom of speech? Freedom of speech on my YouTube channel? Apparently you don't understand what freedom of speech in the Constitution applies to. It doesn't apply to my YouTube channel. Man. I love that we have the Nightbot thing set up to say free speech does not apply to a private platform. Yeah, freedom of speech. Yeah, I should just be forced to allow viewers to post toxic garbage in my chat room, accusing me of false things. That sounds like a great plan. Yeah, I agree with Nicole Wilson. Yes, as Gravity Bonk says, big difference in opinions and agendas. Nikki Bailey says, keep putting them in timeout. Let them know about themselves. Like. Okay, let's move on from that. Let's move on from Lady Gaga update. Let's talk about I want to briefly talk about Gamestop. Gamestop stock. Look, it's up to 246. What in the world is going on? What's going on? You know, GameStop was the stock that was about, less than 20. I mean, this is going back to 6 months ago. This is 5 years. That's the 5 years of GameStop stock. Look at this. That's 30, and then all of 2020, actually in a bunch of 2020 it was at 5 or 6. And then in the last year, it was at, 2018. And then all of a sudden it went up to 400. And then, then it went back down to 40. But now it's up again at 246. I haven't heard anything such significantly changing in the business that warrants it going from 40 to 246. What is this article here? It's a meme stock. It's a popular stock among certain online individual investors. For example, people on the forum Wall Street Bets, Reddit forum Wall Street Bets, where individual investors go and they talk about stocks. A lot of them like this stock. Barron says the transformation is on the way. Right. GameStop said Monday that the Chewy co-founder Ryan Cohen is chairing a new committee geared towards transforming the retailer into a technology business. The stock is soaring. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, just there's nothing so far that's happened with GameStop to nearly warrant this crazy increase. It's just crazy. There was a good article, I think, in Kotaku about this. If I can find it. About the business of the company. GameStop puts Wall Street Bets favorite rich guy in charge of figuring out how to save it. This is from Kotaku. I like this article. They cover like video game stuff. Just a few weeks, this is from today. Just a few weeks ago, it seemed like the GameStop stock frenzy was finally done and dusted. But late last month, it began to rally again and was buoyed this week by news that the former pet food website founder and hero of the Wall Street Bets investment subreddit, Ryan Papa Cohen, will be put in charge of the brick-and-mortar company's attempt to transform into an online business. Yesterday, GameStop announced that Cohen, who founded Chewy.com, and two other members of the board of directors, would lead a new, quote, strategic planning and capital allocation committee in charge of coming up with ideas that, quote, can further accelerate the company's transformation into an online gaming storefront. Who knows what any of that will mean in practice beyond some rich people collecting paychecks to play corporate make-believe? But it was enough to send GameStop stock over $200 a share, up more than 900% year to date. Again, Kotaku, who covers the video game industry, says, who knows what any of that will mean in practice beyond some rich people collecting paychecks to play corporate make-believe. Blah, 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 blah. Last September, blah, blah, blah. It was the latest development in an investment moonshot that's been zipping around the Wall Street Bets community like prophecy, that GameStop is destined to become the Amazon of gaming, and that Cohen is the fated finance bro to make that happen. Last summer, Cohen purchased a 10% stake in GameStop. Blah, 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 blah. One of their makeover plans at GameStop reportedly includes moving GameStop's extremely lucrative used game business online, letting customers make trades by mail. The irony, of course, is that Cohen's big idea is essentially to make GameStop the butt of endless jokes about terrible trade-in deals and pre-order upselling, everything it's currently not. Easier said than done, especially when the share of new game sales is increasingly digital. People increasingly just buy games directly online and they download the games. There's no physical game they buy. Pets will always need to eat, but physical games are disappearing. GameStop's golden future asset also doesn't seem to have much of a place for their big. GameStop's golden future also doesn't seem to have much of a big place for its current biggest asset, the people who run its stores. None of this seems to be putting a brake on the Wall Street Bets hype train, which is once again a parade of celebratory memes or its stock price, which spent the start of today continuing its unlikely climb. So, anyways. That is an article talking about GameStop and talking about how there has been no fundamental change to warrant the enormous, crazy rise in price once again this week. So we'll see where it goes. My guess is it'll go back down. Yes, Lauren is Quox. I am not anti GameStop as a company. They can do what they want. I am. My view is that the rise in their price is utterly not reflective of any kind of fundamental change in the business. Oh, we have a troll. Bye. Gone. Bye. Eric, I'm 99% sure you're a troll. But if you're not a troll, you missed that I already covered it in a whole stream. So you're gone. Dave NW says, my brother follows this stuff. He said GameStop is going higher than before. Higher than like 400 or whatever. Dave's brother says. Look at the chart the last few days. Hey, let me just do it this way. It really is insane. In 5 days, actually 6 months is better. 6 months is better. Goes up to like 400, it goes down to like 40, and now it's back up in the last few days to 250. The Macaw lady says GameStop often sells discs of older games for very cheap. I need to adjust my AC in here. Oh, Angel Shark. Hey, thanks, Angel Shark. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Thanks for the donation. It's very kind of you. Thank you, Angel Shark. And thanks to all of our moderators for moderating. Sarah 55, Lizzie, Sarah Joy. Angel Shark. Linda Belk. Linda says it's being played like a game. Dave says at this point you just buy because of the expectation of a new bubble. Lawrence Kwok says, I see a lot of people trading old games online, but I don't see that as a huge market to bump it up. I can't imagine there's a lot of growth in that business. We got our Twitch mods too and our Facebook mods. Thanks. Bud Green and Roxanne Betke moderating. Thank you. Also, Duxor, Ellieborn, Kin Picky, and Rift Tracks. Hey, thanks to all of our moderators. Wired Misfit says you have to admit all the press conference coverage will help the company regardless, not to the extent of what the stock price reflects, however. I don't know if the press coverage will help the company's business. I mean, people still have to use it. I guess maybe it'll help like their brand recognition. Maybe more people will think about using it or something. But I'm not convinced it'll really help the business. Yang Chat says, can't wait to see the response to NFTs. You mean non-fungible tokens? I'm not going to talk about that yet. Like NBA Hot Shot or whatever that's called. That's a whole other thing. Melissa McQueen says, GameStop has been beleaguered for years. Mr. Showtime says, I went into GameStop just to look around the other day. LOL. What is the NBA thing? NBA Hot Shot? What is it called? Top Shot. NBA Top Shot. I'm not going to get into all this now. There's this thing where the NBA, there's this new collectible, which is like you get a video clip of an NBA highlight, and they're individually numbered. And the same technology, the blockchain that's used to that Bitcoin uses also is used by this NBA Top Shot. But they've started to become like really valuable. You can see the new crypto highlight phenomenon. But I mean, the value is not in like that you're getting some special highlight. It can just be some normal highlight. But you're the only one who owns a certain like they number them, and it's like you might be the only one with the number 5 of Zion Williamson dunk highlight 53, but they're selling for a lot of money. So there's this question of whether they're going to maintain their value or not. Clear Gray Sky thinks it's a scam. But that just got developed this year, I believe. It certainly became big over the last few months. That's just when I started hearing about it. Rex Mundy says, not just NBA, UFC, other sports, art, music, all NFTs, big money. NFTs are non-fungible tokens. Fungible is when you can exchange one for the other. So I guess the idea of a non-fungible token is like that. If I have one of these, like if I have a certain highlight that I own, I can't just exchange it for the same highlight because mine has an individual number. So it's not like a penny. If I have a penny and you have a penny and we exchange pennies, we both still have a penny, and assuming they're not like, one of them is not super valuable. Whereas these things, you can have the same highlight as someone else, but they each have an individual identifier on them, and that matters. I don't have a great understanding of this, though. Sam Patton said, I recently heard of this. Here, this is NPR. What is an NFT? Why are people paying millions to buy them? The artist Grimes recently sold a bunch of NFTs for nearly $6 million. I didn't know that. An NFT of a LeBron James making historic dunk sold for $200,000, more than $200,000. NFT stands for non-fungible tokens, as NPR. Non-fungible meaning you can't exchange it for another thing of equal value. Is that what it means? I don't know if that's what it means. Hold on. You can't be, unlike cryptocurrencies, they cannot be traded or exchanged at equivalency, says Investopedia. I mean, the definition of fungible is, let's see, fungible. Able to replace or be replaced by another identical item. Mutually interchangeable. That's what I was talking about. So if I own one of these, like a LeBron James highlight, a top shot of a LeBron James highlight, and you own a top shot of the same highlight, we can't exchange those, even though they're identical, because they're not really identical, because mine will have a certain number. They give them numbers from 1 to whatever. So as opposed to what they say here, which is the example they give in the article is like a $5 and $10 bill. One bar of gold can be swapped for another bar the same size. Those things are fungible. An NFT, though, is one of a kind. I mean, it's a little weird because a gold bar is, and you could argue that gold bars are one of a kind, right? Because the matter in them, but it's more of a practical definition. And the point is, if I have a $5 bill and you have a $5 bill, we would have no problem just giving them to each other, and we basically say they're both $5 bills, whatever. With these, for example, the NBA video highlights, these Top Shot things. So we wouldn't do that because mine would have a certain number and yours would have a certain number, and one might be more valuable than the other, and they would certainly have different numbers. Anyways, what exactly do you get when you buy an NFT? The answer is not simple. Are you buying what amounts to an internet trophy, clout, a feeling, a digital collector's item? Perhaps, but you're also purchasing a kind of barcode, almost a certificate of authenticity that serves as proof that a certain version of something is uniquely yours. That's interesting. What was the Grimes NFT? Did she make a song and then release certain copies of it? The Verge. Grimes sold $6 million of digital art. Oh, digital art is NFTs, including images and short videos set to music. A series of 10 pieces, some one of a kind, others with thousands of copies, went up for sale on this website. The highest selling piece was a one-of-a-kind video called Death of the Old. The winning bidder took it for nearly $400,000. Now, other people can watch this video, but this person who bought it has the only official copy of it. Sarah55 says, are they digital trading cards? That's a good way to think about it, Sarah, like digital trading cards. But unlike, if you have a baseball card, normally the baseball cards, physical baseball cards they're normally fungible. They normally don't have individual identifiers on them. So if I have like a LeBron James basketball card and you have a LeBron James basketball card from the same year in the same company, it's possible. I'm guessing most of the time they don't have individual numbers on them to make them different from each other. They'll look at the exact same. Whereas these are, each of the online cards has a unique individual identifying number. So you can kind of think of them like online baseball cards or basketball cards or whatever. But again, they're unlike your baseball cards you may be familiar with are ones where you might think like two kids can have the exact same card and it won't make a difference if they just give them to each other, if they exchange them. That's not the way with these things because they all have these individual numbers, and the individual numbers can make them valuable. Like if you have the LeBron James highlight number 1, it's going to be more value than the LeBron James same highlight number 10,000. Also, you can't make a fake one of these. In theory, you could make like a fake, it's hard to do, but in theory, you could make like a fake baseball card. Although I guess there's ways of telling them, there's ways of really examining the material to make sure it's not a fake card. But these are just, the technology is such that there's a permanent record kept of who owns which card. That record is all kept digitally. Anyways, I don't know how we got talking about this. Just something I've been seeing lately and been interested in. But if you haven't heard about this, it might like blow your mind that like this is the new collectible and they're really expensive, some of them. No, history underfoot. You can't. The reason you can't counterfeit it, basically, here it's the same. It's the same reason that it's like practically impossible, from what I understand, to counterfeit Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, like across the world, there's a copy kept on various computers of all of the Bitcoin transactions ever, and it's the same thing with these. Like the basketball highlights and all these non-fungible tokens. And with Bitcoin, you would have to successfully change who owns what, to mess with the record of who owns what. You'd have to have, from my understanding, roughly speaking, this is very basic understanding, like more than half of the computing power on this Bitcoin network of the computers that are on the network or that help verify the transactions. You would have to have more than half of the computing power to make that change. Which there's of course an enormous amount of computing power devoted to mining Bitcoin and verifying the transactions. So my understanding is that they're just the system was created, the blockchain technology was created to make it extraordinarily difficult for anyone to change the ledger, to change the record of who owns what. Now, I don't know if there's a fundamental difference between, say, the Bitcoin, between the difficulty in changing, maybe the fact. I mean, I would think that the more people who are involved in one of these NFTs, it might make it harder to, if there's not many people, if there's like this new thing, this new online, let's call it an online baseball card, but there's very few computers that are keeping track of it. Maybe that would make it a lot easier to change it. Anyways. See if there's any more comments on that. Hang on. Oh, Ann M says digital beanie babies. Denise Horton says just waiting for my beanie babies to have value again. Are there digital beanie babies? Oh, Worker Bee says her brother-in-law just lost a bunch of Stan Lee autographed comics in a house fire. Terrible. Sorry to hear that. Please do not repeat things in the chat. Please do not repeat things in the chat. If you say it once, that's enough. Anyways, if you're interested in that, look up NBA Top Shot. You'll see some articles about it. Trillion says, in the end, for the digital art at least, it's about copyright ownership. You mean for the person who owns it or the creator? I'm not sure. Yeah, why? Nightbot is spamming in our Twitch. Nightbot is just randomly posting stats about the broadcast. Why is that happening? Oh, maybe Idaho Star did it. But Idaho Star's not here. What's going on with Nightbot? Did one of our mods add that? Oh, RiffTrax created it. Okay. RiffTrax did it. As long as one of our moderators did it. No, yeah, Idaho Star, you and RiffTrax can talk about it. That's okay. You can discuss it amongst yourselves. Sounds like you guys are on it. That's fine. Jeff Curry says, I have tons of old baseball cards. Oh, Jeff says it's sort of like prints. Like you could have an artist make a work and they could do like 1,000 prints, right? And Jeff says like 1 out of 1,000 is the first one out of the first 1,000 printed. So, you know, it's kind of like that with these highlights, like the NBA Top Shot. You go on and you can buy a highlight that's the same highlight as somebody else buys, but yours is going to have that individual number. Like a print could have an individual number. Okay. Rita thinks that the person who left the bombs is a female. We talked about this earlier. Person who left 2 pipe bombs the night before the Capitol riot. The princess likes AFTV too. Thank you. All right, let's move on. Another story. Let's move on to another story. It's time. Did the person who asked the same question twice in the YouTube chat and got timed out, did that person just message me the same question on Twitter? I sure hope not. I sure hope not. It's very suspicious. Somebody asked the same question twice in YouTube chat, and I timed them out, and then right after that, I get the exact same question on Twitter. One of our viewers messaged me about Etna volcano. I don't know if there's anything really super new with that. We can talk about it for a second. Anna Maria messaged me about Etna volcano. So I saw this from yesterday. Business Insider India. Europe's tallest active volcano has been spewing lava for 3 weeks and it's now raining stones and ash on the villages below. Okay. The 10th big explosion to rock Italy's Mount Etna has a massive fallout of ash and small lava stones causing damage to cars. It let out its 10th big blast in the last 3 weeks on March 7th, 2 days ago. It is on the eastern coast of Sicily. It has had 10 big blasts since February 16th. This is a post there. I guess from March. There it is. That's from March 7th. Etna is the tallest active volcano in Europe. As long as the eruptions remain at the current intensity and the lava comes from the summit rather than the sides of the volcano, the risk to surrounding communities is small. But history shows that periods of intense activity are almost always followed by lateral eruptions that open up mouths on the flank of the volcano, sometimes at low elevations. That means there is a concrete possibility that lava could directly affect urbanized areas, as happened numerous times in the past, said Neri. In 1983, engineers used dynamite to divert lava away from homes, and in 1992, the army had to build an earthen wall to protect one of the villages on Etna's slopes. Interesting. Cal says, I live about 20 miles from Etna. Etna volcano. Current status, erupting 4 out of 5. Volcano discovery. Mount Etna is Europe's largest and most active volcano. Its frequent eruptions are often accompanied by large lava flows, but rarely pose danger to inhabited areas. It is one of the volcanoes with the longest historic records of interruptions, going back more than 2,000 years. And then this is from a couple days ago, March 7th. Mission, blah, 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 blah. Etna has one of the world's longest documented records of historical volcanism dating back to 1500 BC. Montpelier says there are awesome pictures of Etna. Thank you, Internet. Kimberly Barr, congrats on your new home. You are watching our live news roundup. We are just talking about some different news stories, and we're reading your comments on the air. So if you have any thoughts on our stories or you're hearing anything new, you can give me a shout on Twitter, @Lookner on Twitter. That's what we're doing here. On YouTube, we're on Agenda Free TV 2. You may not realize this. Well, a lot of you do realize this. But a few of you may not know, I actually have 2 news channels on YouTube. This one is Agenda Free TV 2. But the main news channel on YouTube is Agenda Free TV. That's the main one. So you might want to subscribe to that. Click the notifications bell and choose all notifications when you subscribe to my YouTube channels if you do. Then I also have a personal channel where I do streams. Who knows, maybe I'll do a stream tonight about my vaccine side effects, the mild side effects I've been having today. I'll give you an update. That's Lookner on YouTube. Tony Del Monte says, Etna has been rocking, also the one in Japan and the 3 in Guatemala. Okay. We should talk about the Biden dog story briefly. We'll talk about that. I also want to just check and make sure there's no big news updates that I'm missing when we're on the air. Okay. Here, there's an update today about the whole Biden dog story. Josh Wingrove. The youngest of the president's dogs, Major, was, quote, surprised by an unfamiliar person, unquote, on Monday, and reacted in a way that caused a, quote, minor injury, unquote, according to the press secretary. They're in Delaware now as the First Lady travels, she says. The dogs will return to the White House soon. So they are coming back to the White House. She was later asked if there's a chance that the dog Major Biden would be put down. Major Biden is a member of the family, so I can assure you that he won't, she said. So the dogs will be coming back. Biden's German Shepherd has aggressive incident and is sent back to Delaware. The exact condition of the victim is unknown. I wonder what happened. Was it just like a bite? Like, it had to be somewhat significant, right? Because if it was literally just the dog, like, snapping at somebody, I can't imagine they would send the dogs away. I don't think. Reacted in a way that resulted in a major injury to the individual. Well, maybe it was just like a scratch or something. I don't know. Major, who is 3 years old, is the younger of the two Biden dogs and has been known to display agitated behavior on multiple occasions, including jumping, barking, and charging at staff and security, according to the people CNN spoke with. The older of Biden's German Shepherds, Champ, is approximately 13 and has slowed down physically due to his advanced age. Major is a rescue dog. Oh, hold on a second. More toxic crap, partisan crap in the chat, timing somebody else out. Michelle says he was surprised and he's a rescue. Gail Urban says, I wouldn't want to get a German Shepherd bite. Yikes. Mr. Showtime says, dogs go on defense mode for their owner when they don't know a person. So I wonder how this happened. Like, because you'd think that, like, if the dogs, like, when the dogs even moved in, there had to be some kind of rules like, well, don't just go up to the dogs if they don't know you. So how was it somebody who the dogs previously got along with? Joe Hart says Jill is gone for 3 days. That's the primary reason for dogs went to Delaware. That's what Joe Hart says. Is that true? No, look. The episode was serious enough that the dogs were subsequently moved to Wilmington, Delaware. I didn't watch the whole clip from the briefing. Kimberly, I've heard nothing about a major volcano eruption in Alaska. If I do, I will report on it. Thank you. Ann M. says, too many new people run that dog. Shepherds are instinctually protective. Let me see the clip. I'm going to see if I can find the actual clip. Let's see if I can find the clip where she talked about it. Because I have some quotes from her. I didn't see the actual clip. Hang on, I'm going to find this. I'm going to find it. I need to scroll through now. Let's see. If I can find it fast. I can't find the exact quote. It's like an hour video. I'm sorry, I can't find the quote. I would show it to you. The princess says, I would say 3/4 of the way through the briefing. Can't find it. Can't find it. Sorry, I tried. I read the quote before. I was trying to get the exact video, though. Mr. Showtime says, too many people around. It's all new to the dog. So, anyways, if you have the exact quote, you can or the time code, you can let me know. UV says, I guess this is what one of your viewers mentioned. It doesn't look very significant. AI6YR says, something is erupting in Alaska today. Volcano, not unusual, very active chain up there. You know, all the word eruption means is that there's some lava coming up from the ground. So you can have an eruption which doesn't have very strong effects. Debbie Dawn says, he's a young dog in a new environment. With training, he'll be fine. I have no idea what this is. One of our viewers says, Oris says, just tuned in. Any coverage of the Tesla prison webcam hack? I haven't heard of any such story. I Googled it. Nothing comes up. I Google news. Nothing comes up. So I don't know what it is, and it's not coming up anywhere. So I don't know what you're talking about. If you have a link, please let me know. Write to me on Twitter, @Lookner. Thank you, UV Lightning, for writing in. Oh, I thought this was an interesting story. We never talked about this. A couple things. First of all, for you Disney fans, I saw Disney is talking about reopening. Here, hold on. Disneyland hopes to reopen by late April. Oh, hold on. I think we have a time code. The princess says 3132. Is this where it is? The princess found the quote about the dog, I think.
Qualify as a crisis, what does?
Well, because we think that it's most...
Nope. That's not. I'm at 3132 on YouTube, and it's not there. I'm looking at the White House press briefing on YouTube from the White House. It's not at 3132. I just checked. Okay. Let's see. I'll briefly mention this. Kimmy Rose says the training of the dog should take place at the White House. That is their new temporary home, and they need to become familiar with around lots of people. I wonder if they're being properly trained or not. I have no idea. I don't know how they're being trained. Yeah, the princess, maybe you're just looking at a different video than I am, because I just looked at that time code and it didn't come up. So, yeah, you might be looking at a different video. I don't think you're looking at the one I'm looking at. So thank you for trying, though. Disneyland opens to reopen. This is in California. Ann Salty says Disney World has been open for months. LA and Orange counties appear poised soon to enter a more lenient tier of California's restrictions, paving the way for Disneyland, other side of the California theme parks to reopen. Disney chief executive said he hopes the theme parks at Disneyland Resort in Anaheim can open by late April. I think it's just gonna. So I think things are gonna just be very different. The summer is gonna be very different because by May, most people in the country will be vaccinated. Most adults will be vaccinated in the country. It's gonna be a huge difference. It's gonna be a really big difference. I mean, especially because right now, what's the number? I think it's about 10% of people in the country have been fully vaccinated, and around, about 20%? Roughly 20% have gotten one dose. And you're going to see more supply. Over the next couple of months, it's really going to increase. I think it's going to be just an enormous difference. Jeff Haas says things are going to be close to normal by July. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. I agree with Jeff. As long as the vaccines, as long as there's not some like new variant where it evades the vaccines, I think things are going to be enormously different by July. Enormously. They might be close to normal by July. I got the Moderna one. That's the one I got. Serafina Rose writes in and says, I think this is the hack that the viewer was talking about. Bloomberg. Hackers breached thousands of security cameras exposing Tesla jails hospitals. Hacker group said it wanted to show prevalence of surveillance. A group of hackers said they breached a massive trove of security cameras, data collected by Silicon Valley startup Verkada Inc., gaining access to live feeds of 150,000 surveillance cameras inside hospitals, companies, police departments, prisons, and schools. Companies whose footage was exposed include car maker Tesla and software provider Cloudflare. In addition, hackers were able to view video from inside women's health clinics, psychiatric hospitals, and the office of Verkada itself. The hackers also say they have full access to the full video archive of all Verkada customers. In a video seen by Bloomberg, A Verkada camera inside Florida Hospital Halifax Health showed what appeared to be 8 hospital staffers tackling a man and pinning him to a bed. Another video shot inside a Tesla warehouse in Shanghai shows workers on an assembly line. The hackers said they obtained access to 222 cameras in Tesla factories and warehouses. One of the hackers said the data breach was carried out by an international hacker collective and intended to show the pervasiveness of video surveillance and the ease with which systems can be broken into. So I guess there's a company that stores a lot of these surveillance videos. That's what it looks like. A video seen by Bloomberg shows officers in a police station in Stoughton, Mass. Questioning a man in handcuffs. Images seen by Bloomberg from a jail in Huntsville, Alabama show the cameras inside the jail, some of which were hidden inside vents, thermostats, and defibrillators. And they show the cameras track inmates and correctional staff using the facial recognition technology. The hackers were able to access live feeds and archive video. The hackers' methods were unsophisticated. They gained access to Verkada through a super admin account, allowing them to peer into the cameras of all its customers. Cotman says they found a username and password for an administrator account publicly exposed on the internet. After Bloomberg contacted Verkada, the hackers lost access to the video feeds and archives. Wow. The hackers said they were able to peer into multiple locations of the luxury gym chain Equinox. Verkada sells security cameras that customers can access and manage through the web. So they hacked into this security camera company. That's interesting. Interesting story. Thanks for letting me know. History Underfoot says, guess we need to assume we're always on camera. Anti-Twitter says, Mr. Robot has been reminding us power of hacktivism versus regime slaves. I don't watch Mr. Robot, so I can't intelligently comment on your comment. Kay Gebhardt says, hacking is the reason I have duct tape over my iPad cameras in my Android phone cameras. Terry says, not very secure. Linda Cosma says, defibrillators have cameras. I guess a defibrillator in this prison did. Verkada offers a feature called People Analytics, which lets a customer search and filter based on many different attributes, including gender traits, clothing color, and even a person's face. Images seen, so I guess in a prison they were using like this recognition technology to keep track of people inside the prison. Doom Chaser says next 20 to 20 years they will have drones with cameras everywhere, most likely. Oris, yeah, Oris, who originally posted in our chat, also sent me the link to the story. Thank you, Oris, for sending me the link. Debbie Dawn says, I have a clothespin over my laptop cam eye. Oh, by the way, our viewer Quiriket Lovers sent me this. We were talking about NFTs before, non-fungible tokens. I don't want to go through the whole thing again, but for example, they have these like NBA highlights that you can buy the highlight and you get a unique identifier, and they've actually been selling for a lot of money. It's called NBA Top Shot. So this article from The Verge says Taco Bell is hopping on the NFT train. Why buy real tacos when you can buy a GIF of a taco? Taco Bell is selling taco-themed GIFs and images on NFT marketplace Rarible. Taco Bell said the demand for NFTs was hot and that the 25 tokens apparently sold out in 30 minutes. So they sell these designs, right? Now somebody might say, well, why can't I just find a copy of this somewhere on the internet? Well, you might be able to find a copy of the same picture or the same video, but with these these designs are you won't have the copy, and that just the technology is such. It's the same as Bitcoin technology, roughly it's similar to Bitcoin technology, where there is an official ledger of who owns which token, of who owns which thing, which video or which picture, and so you could own a copy of this, but you won't own the real one. Taco Bell has hinted that it's planning on doing another run of the tokens. An NFT allows you to buy and sell ownership of unique digital items and keep track of who owns them using the blockchain, says The Verge. NFTs can include anything digital, including drawings, animated GIFs, songs, or items in video games. An NFT can either be one of a kind, like a real-life painting, or one copy of many, like trading cards, but the blockchain keeps track of who has ownership of the file. Cryptician says monitored beanie bags. Do you mean modern beanie babies? Do people mean beanie babies and not beanie bags? I've learned a bunch about NFTs on this stream. Thank you. I didn't realize there were all these other NFTs going on. Terry says, if you go check out the merch area on their page, it's taco print everything. Some is quite fun. Here's one. CoinDesk. Taco Bell just sold a collection of 5 fast food themed NFTs. Digital collectibles. That's a good way to think about it. Digital collectibles. Does this have sound on it or not? I'm gonna take the music off of this and then play it. See, they say our spicy potato soft tacos can now live in your heart, stomachs, and digital wallets. So you can I guess you can buy this. And you might say like something like this, you can buy this. And you might say, well, why do I want to buy it? Because I can just watch it here. But you don't own this. They have, you can own an official licensed digital copy of that. Oh, Cryptician says that they were referencing another comment. Asymptomatic super spreader thinks they're like Furbies. Seize the Day says, my neighbor is into Bitcoin. He's a drug user and I never see him work. LOL, he's sketchy. At best, you decide. Jeff Vegas says, I sincerely hope they end up being worthless. Jeff said, why would you want to own it? Well, I've seen articles debating why people buy these things. I've read some articles about the NBA Top Shot, and there'll be a debate in the comments where some people claim that the people buying it aren't like really NBA fans. They're just like people who want to make money. So I don't know. I don't know who's buying these different NFTs. And there's different, maybe it's different for different NFTs. But the NBA ones, I don't know if it's like diehard basketball fans or people who are just like into crypto stuff. Maybe it's both. Grobaclone says, I saw the first ever tweet is being sold. Yeah, that might be an NFT too. Look, The Verge. Jack Dorsey's first tweet may fetch $2.5 million and he'll donate the NFT proceeds to charity. Now you might say, how can you sell a tweet, right? But the idea is that there will be like an officially licensed copy of it, and there'll be a publicly verifiable ownership record. He says Jack Dorsey plans to convert the proceeds from the NFT auction of his first tweet to Bitcoin and donate them to charity. The highest bid is $2.5 million. He put up his famous first tweet as an NFT. The winner will get a digital certificate of the tweet. But the tweet will remain viewable on the internet for free. So what you're buying is basically you're buying like official licensed ownership of a tweet. You're buying recognition that you're the owner and verification of that. But you don't own like the copyright to the tweet. That's the first tweet right there. I guess. His first tweet. Right. So I don't believe, I might be wrong. I don't believe he's selling like the rights to this tweet. I don't know though, but I don't believe that. But then there's this question like, if somebody wants to make a t-shirt of this tweet, do they have to ask the person who bought the NFT? That I don't know. That's a fair question. I don't know how that is, or if it's just, like if you, right. So I don't know if he's selling like sole ownership of the intellectual property rights to the tweet or not. Let's see. Want to buy this tweet? See? How does this work? Yeah, it's just an autograph. The creator of the tweet decides if they would like to mint it on the blockchain, creating a one-of-one autograph version. Jeff Haas says the first Lichtner tweet could fetch $500,000 and I could get a Richard Mille watch with the proceeds. Yeah, Grobaclone says, I would guess most people buying these assume they will be an appreciating asset. Now I can't, hold on a second here. History Underfoot says, we've lost our way if this stuff is of value. Saj says, there are people getting evicted and foreclosed, but we have people spending millions on fake non-physical assets. Anyways, as you can see, it's getting more and more popular to have these things. So you'll be hearing more about them in the future. Colette, I can't play the quote you sent me because that's not that's a private news company's video. So thank you for sending it to me, Colette, the time code. But I can't play that video because it's not the White House version. It's like a news company's version. So I need to play the White House one. Kimberly Barr says, isn't this just another form of art? Tony Del Monte mentioned Maui. There's been some flooding in Maui, by the way. We didn't talk about that. In other parts of Hawaii, too. Homes flooded, roadways damaged on Maui as torrential rains batter state. I wonder if there's a newer update here. That's the latest article from Hawaii News Now. County officials are beginning to survey the damage left behind by severe flooding that hit East Maui Monday afternoon, damaging or destroying at least half a dozen homes, washing out roads, and making at least 2 bridges impassable. There was some more flooding going on today. I think I saw a post about it. Let's see here. AI6YR posted about it. Oh, no, that wasn't the one. Where is it? Can I find it here? Yeah, this is the island of Oahu. AI6YR posted this. Oahu Emergency Management. The flash flood warning for Oahu has been extended till 1:45 p.m. today. Low Roller Scratcher thinks NBA Top Shot NFTs will be worth a lot of money since the NBA supports NBA Top Shot. Rendier says they're only worth something if someone is willing to buy them. Free markets, that is true. Nicole Wilson sent me this from a New York State Assembly member who thinks Cuomo should resign. Yeah, there was a new allegation against him. There wasn't much detail in this allegation. Times Union, Cuomo faces new sexual harassment allegation at Executive Mansion. It says, a 6th woman has leveled allegations of sexual harassment or inappropriate conduct at Governor Cuomo after a supervisor in the executive chamber recently became aware the woman said that the governor inappropriately touched her late last year during an encounter at the governor's mansion. But there's no details about this here. So the woman has not filed a formal complaint with the office of the governor. Her allegations were reported to the governor's council by other members of the other employees in the executive chamber. The 6th woman could not be reached for comment. So I don't really, she's a member of the governor's executive chamber staff. So I saw this before, there's really not much detail here on it. History Underfoot says, don't resign. It's a setup to get another governor in place to pardon you-know-who. That's what History Underfoot thinks. What's the latest on this? CNBC reported this yesterday. Lawyers appointed for Cuomo sexual harassment probe. Republicans will seek impeachment. The New York's Attorney General has appointed some people to lead the investigation into claims that Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed several women. There have been more Democrats calling for him to resign. He says he will not resign. We'll see what happens with that. Debbie Dawn thinks it's a setup. Nicole says, yes, not much info at all on the new accusation. Montpelier says, I hope he does not resign. Texas Legends Brian says, going to miss Periscope tons. Yeah, unfortunately, there's only like 3 more weeks of Periscope, but that's it. I'm trying to, hopefully we'll be able to get on directly on Twitter and post the videos there, but I'm still working on that. Hey, thanks to our mods. Sarah Joy is modding. And Sarah55. Texas Legends Brian. Roxanne Betke, Bud Green, thank you. Oh, thanks, by the way, for the Facebook stars. I owe some thank yous. Paul Beddard, Swan Brown, and Paul Dorman and Patty Huddleston Looney. Paul Beddard, Swan Brown, Paul Dorman, and Patty Huddleston Looney, thank you for the Facebook stars. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thanks to our Twitch moderators, too. Ellie Bourne, Idaho Star, Kin Picky, Riff Tracks. Thanks. Guru Gahan says, feels like those Periscopers have had plenty of time to find a real platform. You know, a lot of times it just doesn't translate, though. It can be really hard for people who have gotten a significant following on one platform to go to another platform. A lot of time the people just won't switch over, or the programming won't exactly translate. It can just be very hard to, if you're someone who's big on one platform, to carry that audience over to another platform. I hope people are able to do it who've built a big Periscope following. There's also a thing where, like, you know, you might be doing well on one platform and the algorithm likes you, and then you go to another platform and the algorithm doesn't even know who you are, and so you don't get new people seeing you. Julie Aiken says, resign or be impeached. Cuomo will land on his feet. I see a highly paid career as a TV news commentator. Underdog Rising says, New York is not in danger of electing a Republican. There's no risk in pushing him out. Yeah, seize the day. I don't know if Twitter is just going to end up replacing Periscope by having more streaming on Twitter. I don't know. It's too bad it's going away, though. Apocalypse said, I came here from Periscope to Twitch. Guru Gahan says, no, enough people already hate me. Here, I'm going to post a link to this story from William Turton. William Turton. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about this already. Some of the viewers let me know about this. Thanks to the viewers who let me know about it. So we already read the story. It's from Bloomberg. I'm retweeting it. I saw a link from William Turton, but we just talked about this. But I retweeted the link to the story. Jeff says, I'm sure Twitter will have their own streaming platform. No, Instagram won't work, Roller Scratcher, because Instagram doesn't. I think they limit the amount of time you can be on air for, and also it's not landscape, it's portrait on Instagram. Also TikTok too. It's portrait, it's not landscape. There's just, and just the platform doesn't. The way I do these broadcasts, you can't technically get the broadcast to those live. Yeah, we're gonna Mark McCoy. We'll do some kind of final, like a Periscope goodbye stream, probably. Ian says, hi, Steve Posherwell. Piers Morgan got sacked, left ITV's Good Morning Britain breakfast show following comments he made about Meghan Markle. Yeah, I just felt like not covering this story. So I chose not to cover it, and I didn't tweet about it. I know a lot of people are interested in it, but I decided not. I'm using my editorial discretion to not cover it. But thank you for writing in, Ian. All right. Oh, I did want to mention this because we never talked about this. This was from a couple days ago, but I did want to mention it. Jeff Bezos' former ex-wife, who is one of the richest people in the world, has remarried. Her new husband is a high school science teacher, Mackenzie Scott. He has pledged to work with her in giving away much of her billions. I just found this kind of interesting. New York Times. The billionaire philanthropist Mackenzie Scott has remarried after her high-profile divorce from Jeff Bezos. She married Dan Jewett, a science teacher at the prestigious Seattle school attended by her children. I hope they weren't dating while her kids were in his science class, because then he couldn't grade them with impartiality. So he better have had somebody else grade their papers if he was teaching her kids. What might otherwise be a wholly private, personal decision takes on unusual significance in light of the resources at her disposal, $53 billion, with her stated intention to give the majority of it away. Miss Scott occupies a unique place in the world of mega philanthropy. She does not have the decades of experience that Mr. Gates or former Mayor Michael Bloomberg of New York have built up, but through the sheer speed and scale of her donations and the way she has given her gifts with few of the highly restrictive conditions and onerous reporting requirements that have become common, Miss Scott has managed to help shift the debate about the direction of the field. She gave extensively to YMCA and YWCA chapters around the country, to food banks and historically black colleges and universities. She made donations to organizations that support women's rights, LGBTQ equality, and efforts to fight climate change and racial inequities. These two groups found that $4 billion of the $6 billion that Ms. Scott gave away last year could be considered pandemic response, which accounted for nearly 3/4 of the COVID-related giving by billionaires and other high net worth individuals. History Underfoot says, wouldn't it be nice to be able to give so much money away? Lauren is Quack says, I hope she married for love this time. What? Lauren, when she married Jeff Bezos, they were not wealthy. She helped him create the company. She didn't marry Jeff Bezos when Amazon was like, she was helping him create it when it was like nothing. I do not know how long they've been dating. Joe Hart says, I believe she became the world's richest female on the day she's divorced. I believe you're right. Oh, hold on a second here. Here we go. Carmen A.G. said of the new Cuomo accuser, I think he just kissed her hand, I heard. I mean, I think there was another woman who said that, but I haven't heard that about the new accuser. I haven't heard any details about what she said. Except that the thing about where it said, like, somehow touched inappropriately, but I don't know what the specifics are. Me, Betty Boop says, nice to be able to give billions away and still have billions. I think it's good that she's given so much to charity, though. And she says she wants to give most of it away, right? She gave $4.2 billion away in 4 months. That's from December. She is the world's 18th richest person. Last year, she signed the Giving Pledge, promising to give away the majority of her fortune. The Giving Pledge is a commitment by the world's wealthiest individuals and families to dedicate the majority of their wealth to giving back. Charity experts have applauded the amount she has given away and how she has done it. Montpelier thinks she's the best. Michelle says, talk about Italy? Do you mean like COVID there? I mean, they're having some more, there's kind of a COVID upswing in Italy. See, if you look here, this is like new cases in Italy. See, it's actually going up lately. Deaths. It's kind of going up a little bit. Is that what you're talking about? The local Italy. Lockdown by next week. These are the new COVID restrictions Italy is considering. I assume it's because of the variants and that they're not widely vaccinated. That's my assumption. And then maybe people, I don't know if it's like people aren't social distancing or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, France 24, Italy's coronavirus death toll surpassed 100,000 with cases rising. Hospitalizations are rising too. Infections rose 23% in Italy last week by comparison with the week before, and health officials have warned the country faces a fresh surge of cases as a more contagious variant of the disease, first detected in the UK, gains ground. Like other European countries, Italy's vaccination campaign has got off to a slow start, hit in part by delivery delays from drug manufacturers. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. No, it's, oh my gosh. That's it. Nope. Elizabeth Prentley. I've warned you about things before. I'm timing you out right now, Elizabeth Prentley, but I'm going to hide you. I've warned you on other channels. I think on Lookner I warned you. We might have hidden you there with your anti-vax nutty garbage, with your false anti-vax nutty garbage. Take it somewhere else. Don't push that garbage in here. ACL says, Mackenzie Scott donated to a charity I volunteer for. Alibaba thinks cases are going to increase in Canada the next 2 weeks. I hope not. All right. I think, let's see here. Oh, Tony says Roger Mudd passed away. I did not know this. Roger Mudd, longtime TV network newsman, dies at 93. I did not know that. It's too bad. Thoughts with his family. All right. I think I have covered the major things I wanted to cover today. Oh, Mark Helton is here. Hey, Mark, it's good to see you. Mark Helton is here moderating. Thank you. Thank you for coming by, Mark. It's good to see you. So I think I have covered what I wanted to cover here with the main headlines. And I think I'm going to have to go eat something now. But I appreciate you joining the news roundup today. And if there's big news tonight, of course, I will cover it on Agenda Free TV. And if not, I might do a stream on my personal channel, Lookner. So you know, I have, on YouTube, it's 2 news channels. On the other platforms, it's 1 news channel. But on YouTube, it's Agenda Free TV 2 and Agenda Free TV. And then my personal channel is only on YouTube, and that's called Lookner. So subscribe to my channels. And if you do subscribe, make sure you click the notifications bell and choose all notifications. That's on YouTube. They have that notifications bell. And you can find all the channels on YouTube. If you click on channels on one of them, you'll see the others. And then, you know, if you're watching on one of the other platforms, for Lookner, go to YouTube. Yes, we missed you, Mark Helton. Yes, I'm going to be eating something. That's what I'm going to be eating. Oh, Michael Peterson got first shot today. Pfizer, excellent. Good to hear that. Oh, thank you, Kay Gebhardt. Hey, Kay Gebhardt, that's very kind of you. Kay Gebhardt says, thanks for the stream. Thank you, mods and chatters. Thank you, Kay Gebhardt. Oh, you're going to hear a siren outside. Hey, big thanks to all of our mods. Let's thank our moderators. They are great. They're all volunteers. Sarah 55, Sarah Joy. Oh, thank you, the princess. Hey, thanks, the princess. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Sarah Joy, Mark Helton. And all of our other moderators in YouTube. Texas Legends Brian, Linda Belk, Roxanne Betke, Bud Green, Ellieborn, Idaho Star, Kin Picky, Riff Tracks. Thank you, mods. Hey, if anybody's interested in being a volunteer moderator, you can. That'd be awesome. Just ask the mods for more info. But thanks to you guys for watching, and big thanks to you guys for your input. This is a interactive live stream, the news roundup. Really interactive. We try to read your comments on the air, and a lot of interesting thoughts today. Comments. Hey, I always learn so much on these streams. You guys tell me about things. So people told me about all these other NFTs. So now I'm going to have to read more about that. And thanks for your story tips, too. Okay. Oops, hold on. I got to plug in my iPad. Oh, my iPad's running out of battery. Follow me on Twitter for news updates, at Lookner on Twitter. That's where I cover news. Breaking news on Twitter, at Lookner. All right, let's thank our viewers. Oh, and thanks everybody who donated too. That's really kind of you. Your support is what allows me to do this. So I so appreciate your support. Thank you for letting me cover news full time. And if you want to donate, you can go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. But thank you so much. And thanks for the Facebook stars, the people I thanked earlier as well. I appreciate that. Okay. All right. We got, thanks to our viewers, ACL, Anti-Twitter, Honey Love Bama Nation, Bye Perry, Mark McCoy, they're all, Jeff Vegas, they're all on Periscope, and our other Periscope viewers. Truth Hurts. Thanks. Oh, Darren Thompson. Hey, thanks again for the Facebook stars. Darren Thompson, I appreciate it, Darren. Thank you. And thanks, Darren, for watching. And our other Facebook viewers, too. John Williams, Jeff Curry. Thank you for watching. John W. Harvey, Christopher Lowhorn, Mariko Brown, Rochelle Cook. And our other Facebook viewers, our Twitch viewers. Variety Music Station. Guru Gahan, Shaggy, Trillion. Random Gaming, Christmas Snow, Shaggy. Did I say Shaggy already? Loudly Sleeping. Apocalypse, no. Mancubus, I neglect Twitch? I don't think that's the case. I can't read all the chats at once. I try to read some. We read some Twitch comments today. I don't think I'm neglecting Twitch. And thanks to our YouTube viewers, too. Lauren is Quox, Rosemary Randolph, Arizona Jumper, Claire Williams, Jack Varley. Hey, thanks everybody for shouting out and thanking the mods. I appreciate that. Nicole Wilson, Sam Patton, Alibaba, C. Michelle Sparks, Melissa McQueen, Elier, Michael Peterson, Me So Hungry, June 0130, Judy Socket, Low Roller Scratcher. We may have a Lookner stream later tonight, maybe. All right. The Macaw Lady. Colligan Crafts. Cryptician. Joe Hart. Jack Varley. Lynn Smith. Kay Gebhardt. Thank you, guys. All right, we are wrapping this up. And good to see Mark Helton again. And Laura Chase and Brainy Janie. Thank you for watching. All right, guys. Tony says he put a new song up today. All right. All right, guys. Thank you, Tony Del Monte, for watching, too. I am wrapping this up. Thank you so much for joining the News Roundup today. And we'll have more news coverage for you soon. So thank you for watching, and we will see you soon with more live news coverage on Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2.